Milan from Wine World, and we're here today with Count Sebastiano Capponi and from Calcinaia, Villa Calcinaia, a gorgeous estate in Chianti. And we're very fortunate to have the Count today to talk about his wines, one of which is right here, the Casaza.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, Arnie, for the introduction. And Sebastiano Capponi from Greve in Chianti. Actually, I'm born and raised in Florence, but my estate is in Greve in Chianti, which is only 15 miles south of Florence, so it's very close. And the estate was purchased by my family in 1524. So we've been making wine for quite a while now. And you know, it's an estate that's about 200 hectares in the Greve Valley. We make the Villa Calcinaia line. It's solely old vines, so vines that go from the 1960s to nowadays. And one of the wines we make, it's Villa Calcinaia Casaza, and that's kind of a funny story because it was planted. The vineyard was planted originally in 1967, and it was meant to be Sangiovese. But what happened at 4th of November 1966, it was a flood in Florence, and the flood invaded all the nurseries, and all the name tags got washed away. So basically, the nursery owners went back to the name tags, no database back then, and they thought they remember what they had in the vine rows. Evidently they did not, because they sold us a bunch of stuff that wasn't meant to be. And one of the things was this varietal. But the problem was that they didn't know that varietal back then, so they thought it was some kind of black Malmsey. And it was only in 1996, there I was with my professor from Florence helping me out to select all the mother vines. And he pointed out to me, "I'm sorry, Sebastiano, this is not Black Malmsey." What is it, I may say? It's Merlot. Merlot? And what do I do with Merlot now? I mean, I was priding myself never to plant an international varietal in my estate, and it was already there prior to me, because I was born in 1971. So, you know, I said I may do, you know. I said, well, let's make a single vineyard, and that's what it is. Since 1997, that's the first vintage. It's 100% Merlot. But I always tell to people, it's a French gentleman who moved to Tuscany 40 years ago, so his accent is definitely more Tuscan than French.
One thing I have to say about the wines is that, well, this is a very structured wine. So when you think about Merlot, if you think lush and fruit forward, that's really not, this is a wine that's built to age. I think it's got a really good level of tannin structure to it.
Absolutely.
Very powerful wine. The other thing I like is that when we're tasting the Chiantis, the classic level, so many people now are adding Merlot and Cab to their Chianti, and I was pleasantly surprised that you had 90% Sangiovese and 10% Canaiolo, a traditional Tuscan Chianti grade. And so I really like that it's very traditional. The other thing I like when we were talking is that you do Chianti, not so much clonal selection, you do Massal selection, which is in the vineyard, various different types of Sangiovese. And the benefit of that is it gives the wine a little more complexity and character.
Absolutely. You see how many wines are on the shelf. You have to be distinctive, because now everywhere in the world people are making good wines. The important thing is to find wines that people can recognize, and if they like them, they go back. That's our goal.
Well, thank you.